Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Commodity TV in the new edition of our online interview series. We want to get an update from one of our real top companies here, Sibanye-Stillwater, one of the largest or even the largest palladium and platinum producer in the world, plus rhodium, chromium, a lot of gold, and soon, hopefully, also uranium. So we want to talk about all of that with James Wellsted. Welcome and hi to South Africa, James. How are you?
Hi, Jochen. How are you? Very well, thanks. On this side.
Perfect. All good. I'm on vacation, but still find the time, of course, to talk to you because I'm also a shareholder in your company. So perfectly thing. Well, first of all, I think since we did the last interview, your share price climbed about 90 to 100%. So I must say something really good happened, right?
Yeah, we've actually well above 100% since the beginning of the year. So it's been a very good start. I mean, we've had quite a difficult time since 2022. With the PGM prices coming off, we've had to restructure the business, which we spoke about, I think, in our last interview, and then also do quite a lot of balance sheet reinforcement to ensure that we could really endure through a low price environment. But I think we're seeing the benefit of those actions that we took. We already had seen that our earnings had flattened and were starting to increase. And now with the PGM prices increasing and gold also obviously remaining quite high, we're starting to get the benefit coming through in our share price.
Absolutely. And well, this is also one of the reasons why your stock is running, because I think how can I say that? You've done your homework. You were not running away from the problems, but you really addressed them. You started to solve them. And this is now things are working and you can start to harvest from them, which is great. So let's talk shortly about this first quarter and the 31st March. Were you satisfied with that? Where do you see things which could be better? Where do you see things which were really, really good?
Yeah, I think generally quite satisfied with the PGM side. Our South African PGM operations are running quite well, close to, well within our guidance. The US PGM operations, the restructuring that we had or did in the last quarter last year has resulted in costs coming down significantly. We were up at over $1,800 per ounce, and now we're sitting at $1,250 per ounce all-in sustaining cost. And with the recent rally in PGM prices, that's going to be very close to break even at spot price, if not slightly positive. So that's quite a big turnaround in the fortunes of that business, which the analysts were quite concerned about. The market was looking at us closing that business entirely, but now it shows that strategically we made the right decisions to rather do it in a phased manner, rather than just take a big knee-jerk reaction like the market was asking for. So I think we're in a good position there. And then obviously we're still going to get the benefits of the Section 45X tax credits in the US. So that's going to be another $80 per ounce benefit in terms of our costs. So it will give us quite a nice margin with the Section 45X. I think the area that we might be a little bit disappointed in was the gold side, where we've had some operational issues at Kloof, which is one of our big mines, and we've been struggling a bit there. We had a shaft incident in the early part of the year, which we're still struggling a bit to come back from, and then also some logistics. We had blockages in the system underground, which have resulted in less production than we had anticipated. So, that's possibly the area that we're a bit disappointed in, because it means we haven't really got the full benefit of this higher gold price. But, we're working on sort of resolving all of those issues.
Okay, super. How's it going in the US with your platinum palladium production there?
That's really good. I mean, according to the guidance, as I said, I mean, that restructuring has been very well managed by the team, and the costs are lower than current guidance. We might have a little bit of catch up in capital towards the end of the year, but that might increase the costs a bit. But we are looking in very, very good shape there.
Okay, super. So that means with current platinum palladium prices, you would say, hey, we can not only survive, we start to make money.
Yeah, we'll be generating positive cash at these kind of prices in South Africa mainly, but certainly at the US operations where we were experiencing quite significant losses, we now, if not break even, very close to break even going forward.
Mhm. Okay, super. We saw recently also with the European Commission and also in Europe, of course, itself, that they were starting, yeah, to take more care about commodities, about resources, from where do they come. Let's go further down of the dependency with China, especially. I mean, you have with the Calibre Lithium project and also the Calicam project, you have, I think, two projects which are strategic projects by the European Commission. Can you give us maybe an idea what that means, what benefits you get out of that? Do you get, let's say, a faster permitting? Do you get money for those projects? And it's very important, I think, especially that lithium has reached the bottom. How is the Calibre Lithium project doing? Meaning, when do you think it will start production?
Yeah, the Keliber Lithium project, I mean, we did have an increase in our capital. We did a review in the first quarter, which we've announced to the market, but it's scheduled for commissioning in the second quarter of next year. So we're looking at, obviously, market conditions are still not ideal. Prices are low, but I think we are going to start seeing the impact of that on supply. It has to happen. I mean, the prices are well below average supply costs. And the project's on schedule for completion for next year, and then we'll start the production build-up. Um, in terms of the strategic positioning there, both projects, the Gallicam project, which is at Sandouville in Le Havre in France, our Sandouville nickel plant, and we're looking at converting that to produce precursor cathode active material, which is essentially a nickel-based battery material to supply the
Mhm.
French battery industry. And both of those have been given strategic status, project status by the EU. So we haven't really seen the benefits directly from that yet. That's still quite a recent announcement. But we had already received 144 million euro grants,
Euros.
yeah, for the Gallicam project. If that's approved at the end of the year when the pre-feasibility is concluded, then we do benefit from that.
Wow, that's super. I mean, that's a lot of money. What are total costs roughly for the Calicam project?
We still doing the pre-fees, so we haven't got all that detail yet. We'll put that out to the market at the end of the year when we've given that detail, or we've made a decision. The board's made a decision on that.
Okay, super. But can you say maybe an estimate, like is it more in the $500 million range, in the $1 billion range?
In terms of the capital, no,
Yeah.
it'll be much lower than that. I mean, this is an existing plant that we're converting, so we're going to be using most of the existing facility and then just converting certain sections. So it'll be much lower. I can't give you a range now, though, I'm afraid.
Okay, super. No problem. I was just wondering because those 144 million euros so brings you really further, right?
Yeah, well, it'll take us quite a long
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
Definitely. Super. Great. So those things all look good. Let's come a little bit more to the future in that sense. Uranium is for me always a big, big topic. Yeah. And you guys were in the past also quite famous for uranium. So what is the game plan here? What do you want to do? How does it look like for, let's say, 2026 also? Because we anticipate much higher uranium prices.
Yeah, I think we do too. We're quite positive about it. What we have done is we did a deal in the fourth quarter last year with a company called Neo Energy Limited, which is listed on the alternative exchange or AIM exchange in the UK, I believe. And they bought effectively the project for 250 million rand consideration, and then 250 million rands worth of shares that they've issued to us. So we'll retain an economic interest or as a shareholder of Neo in the project, but they will then develop it. So it reduces our obviously, we've got a lot of other projects and things that we're looking to fund. So it allows us to now pursue a number of different options and retain that economic interest without having to use our balance sheet for everything. So that's something that we're going to probably look at on quite a few projects going forward as well. The other uranium opportunity is at our Cook dump. We've got about 30 million pounds of uranium sitting on the surface in the dump with some gold as well. So if we process that dump, we'll extract value from gold and uranium, and then it also has quite substantial sustainability and environmental benefits because we'll be able to redeposit those tailings, which are going to be much more inert. They won't have radioactive material in them, onto a new facility that will DRD probably is developing in the area.
Oh, okay, super. So you can solve the problem in-house.
That's right. We're trying to partner with other companies to try and
Yeah,
find solutions.
yeah.
So.
Okay, super. So, by the way, because we are talking about tailings now, DRD Gold, you mentioned Century is also, yeah, tailings reprocessing. How is the business going there?
Well, I mean, the zinc price has been quite good, and obviously the treatment charges are quite low. So we've been benefiting from that. So that's actually generating good profit and good cash flow at the moment. The last 2 years we had issues in the first quarter with flooding. They had very high rainfall, but we did develop a solution for that, additional dams. So that's prevented any issues this year. So it's been a very, very good start to the year. And what we're looking at now is we still got a copper project that we're doing feasibility on, the Mount Lyell project in Tanzania, and then potentially using the Century infrastructure, so the plant and the pipeline that goes to the port, and then they've got a shipping arrangement, and using that infrastructure for potentially mining phosphate in that area as well. They're quite extensive phosphate deposits that we're looking at and discussing with the local landowners.
Okay, fantastic. As we are talking about that, in that sense already, how can I say, the ESG matters, you are also doing recycling, which I think is also fantastic. I mean, mining is the one thing, but I think we also should recycle those, let's say, used products, because there is so much value into it. So, how was your recycling business so
Yeah,
far?
so that's part of the strategy. We want to have obviously our primary mining, which was our mining operations and processing, and then recovery from tailings facilities, and then the recycling is the third leg of that. And it's the reason is that going forward, we think obviously resources are scarce; they've got finite in our planet, and going forward, we think that secondary supply from recycling and dump reprocess is going to have to become a bigger part of the total supply of these metals. So we're establishing a position in both of those areas. We recently or a year ago, bought Reldan, which is a precious metals recycler from electronic waste. And that's going very well. It's contributing positively to the company. And we're looking at a few other acquisitions to build a nice footprint in the US and then expand globally as well.
Fantastic, super. Let's talk shortly at the end here also about money, meaning how does your balance sheet look now like? Are you satisfied with that? And let's put it that way, because we got several questions about maybe a dividend payment, share buybacks. When will that restart?
Well, our policy is obviously to pay 25 to 35% of normalized earnings. So what we do is we strip out essentially the non-cash items, impairments, etc., try and get them back to operational type earnings. And then we would pay 25 to 35% of that. So as soon as we're generating positive earnings, I think, we can start looking forward to the board approving that. It would obviously depend on how sustainable we think this PGM price recovery is, the gold price, etc. Because we've got to make decisions that are based on longer term as well. But it's looking very positive. Um, Sorry, and then the balance sheet. We did significant balance sheet reinforcement last year, prepays on our gold, etc. And more recently, in the first quarter this year, we announced the stream arrangement that we did with Franco-Nevada, where we streamed some of the gold and a minor amount of platinum at our PGM operations in South Africa to raise $500 million. And that's obviously had a big impact, positive impact for our balance sheets as well. So our gearing was down to, on a pro forma basis, to about 1.1 times at the end of the year, going into the new year. And it should be relatively similar, I think, at the moment, given that we're generating cash flow from our existing operations.
Super. So we can say everything looks quite good. You are happy so far, not only with the metal prices, but also the business is really improving, and you are solving or have solved a lot of problems, right?
Yeah, I think we're in a good position. I mean, we took some tough decisions over the last
Uh-huh.
2 years. The restructuring was, we reduced the workforce in South Africa by about 12,000
Mhm.
people. So it's
Uh-huh.
substantial, but it's made the
Wow.
difference. We closed the Stillwater West mine in the US, so we reduced our production there by about 200,000 ounces to about 260,000 ounces per annum. But that's really made a difference to the company from a profitability perspective, and it means that we're going to enjoy the benefits of these high prices now. So instead of funding losses, we can enjoy the positive, cash flows and earnings that are going to come from higher prices.
Fantastic. James, thank you very much for the update. I think we talked them when you have your half-year numbers because they are much, much more important. Then let's do an update then there. We'll really look forward to that. And I would say you have done a significant, if you want to say it like turnaround, because things, your measures you have taken are really working, right?
Yeah, and we're looking forward to those. Those results will be coming out on 28th of August. So hopefully
Uh-huh.
we'll be able to positively surprise the market.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Super. James, thank you very much for your time. Wish you well. Enjoy the summer, of course. And yeah, we take it from there and we talk then beginning September.
Thank you. Thanks, Jochen.
Super. Thank you very much. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that was James Wellsted from Sibanye-Stillwater, and you heard it. They had tough times, of course. That's why the stock really fell, apart, I would call it even. But this year, the stock so far is over 100% up, and they really deliver. They deliver fantastic numbers now. They are back on the profit side, which is really important. And also their debt ratio is with it's around one in the gearing, which is great. So they did a $500 million stream with Franco-Nevada, which is also fantastic. And I think the balance sheet is in good health. They are expanding the business. They are in the recycling. Yeah, and also uranium is here on the plan to really do something. I would say the company is in very good shape. Our price target is easily $2.50 for the stock, which means easily $10 for the ADR. This is our next price target, but it can really go higher. Let's wait for the 28th August. Have a good look. And you really should check out this fantastic company. Thanks for watching us, and bye bye from Austria today.